We're in conversation. Here are two facilitators who at one point in time were sitting in your seats and now are working at World in Conversation as facilitators. So, yo man, can you just introduce yourself and like what's the best part about facilitating?
Hello, my name is Mahi. I am a second-year psychology student, and the best part about World in Conversation, honestly, I think it's the people. Like, I really love our facilitation team, and we support each other on so many levels. It's just such a great time. We vibe a lot. The people, we really make like it a fun place to be. So.
And what have you learned about yourself facilitating?
Well, I'm going to introduce myself real quick. My name's Mia. I'm a sophomore. I took this class my freshman year, and then I was stream team, so I'm with Niche. And what I've learned about myself is that you could really do a lot if like you're just put into the position of it. Like I felt like I couldn't really do it because I'm kind of just like all over the place all the time, and I'm always just talking. But it's kind of really fun facilitating because you learn how well it is, like how easy it is to talk to people, and you learn a lot of skills. And I even see myself using those skills like throughout my daily life. So.
You're watching yourself also using them like with your friends and different.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like it's applicable to so much more than just the classroom because it really is just a practical experience. So you can use it in so many places. It's so useful outside of the classroom.
You know, what we find is when people go do job interviews, this is going back 30 years that we've been training facilitators. When people do job interviews, and they start talking about World in Conversation, half the time the interviewer, it's the only thing they really want to talk about is like what you learned as in your facilitation skills. And we had one student that just comes to mind. Just there's so many students. I mean, it's hundreds of people, but one guy was a petroleum engineering student, and he was applying for a job to work on an oil rig, right? And the person that was interviewing him learned about World in Conversation. It was like that was the thing that got him the job, basically. Like his ability to engage and talk and ask questions and so on. So, yeah, so it's pretty cool. It's really so you would recommend it?
100%, yeah.
You don't even have to be like a sociology major or a liberal arts major. Like I'm undecided. I don't even know what I want to do, but it could be like for any major. It just teaches you how to like communicate with people, how to use those skills in like real life settings. And it's like fun to be able to hear people talk, so.
Yeah, and it really does challenge you on like levels other than just obviously academically. Like I think from a social and just like a mental standpoint, it challenges you in so many ways, but all good ways.
And ideological, right? Because you're not allowed to take sides, right?
Yeah, you have to stay kind of in the middle, supporting both sides.
All sides.
Yeah, all sides, really. But yeah, it's such an amazing experience. Definitely would recommend for sure.
So we're doing. Can you put the? So we're doing right after class. We're doing an info session, and we'll do more info sessions. But right now, so all right. Thanks you all. Thanks for coming. Appreciate it. All right. Hey, this is the title. I don't know, from Black to Asian. I don't know, it'll make sense when we get to the end of class. I don't know. It was a last-minute thing. I was like, wait, we didn't have a title. All right, that's the title. Hey, can you introduce? So you two share a mic, and you two share that mic, and then we'll. Why don't we start?
Hi, I'm Zanel. I'm a junior criminology major.
Hi, I'm Jasmine. I'm a second-year biomedical engineering major.
Hi, I'm Summer. I'm a fourth-year data science student.
Hello, I'm Justin. I am a fourth-year computer science major.
Okay, awesome, man. Thanks for volunteering. I think today's going to be a really interesting class. What we're going to do is we're going to talk about hang on, I'll turn that down. We're going to talk about some research that was done, and I'm going to walk you through the research. And we're just gonna engage on it. I want to hear what you have to think about it. You know, this is a your generation thing, and we're just gonna see where we go. Okay, so I'm gonna have to talk a little bit till I get to the questions that that you're going to respond to. Okay, can we go to the next slide? So there were these researchers, and they wanted. Wait, actually, can you blacken that just for a second while I talk? You know, one of the things that we talked about a few weeks ago, discrimination, and how it's really difficult to measure discrimination because you have to see it. Like, how do you see it? Like, how do you know if you've been discriminated against, and how would you know? You know, like you might go and apply for an apartment and here in town, and you know maybe you leave the office and you feel pretty good about the fact that you're going to get the apartment, and then you come to find out that the person who applied after you got the apartment and you didn't. You know, and so if it's you, Summer, as a white woman, you might not really think it's because you're white, but the three of you might think some kind of way, might be wondering, like, whoa, was that discrimination? What happened there? You know, but you don't know, because you wouldn't know, because you don't know what the whole story is. And so we're always trying to find these moments of discriminatory behavior in order to really assess how much is happening in the world. Okay? So, all right, you can put that back up. So these folks, they decided, hey, what we're going to do is we're going to send I said emails, but they're actually letters. I think they were letters. Maybe they're emails. Maybe they were emails. Okay. Either way, to 52,000 principals, K through 12 in the United States, in 33 states. Okay, so, and what they did was, these emails came from fictitious parents. They were fake emails and fake parents, and the parents were either white, Chinese, black, or Hispanic. Okay? So I'm the principal. I'm going to get an email from some family, from somebody asking about my child, information about my child. I'm concerned. My child's going to be starting in your school in the fall, and I'd like to talk to you and have a conversation ahead of time because, there's some things with my child that I think are worth talking about, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So, can you please get back to me? And then the question is, okay, does the principal get back to them? And they're randomly assigned, so, they got 52,000 of these principals, and they just send the letter out randomly from one of the 4 different families. And it's only one email is sent to each principal. And the gender of the child is randomized, so half the children are girls and half the children are boys. Okay? Everyone's following. So all right, next slide. So the students these are the 8 names that were used for the students. So it's either Molly Erickson or Connor Erickson. What's the race of that? It's going to be white, okay? Shanice or Deshaun Washington, Jasmine. They're black, all right? Ying or Wei Wang, Summer, Asian, Chinese, right? And Isabella and Diego Velasquez, what's their background? Hispanic. Okay, that's pretty obvious. Okay, cool. So you get the email in, and the principal is triggered right away, is assessing like, whoa, this person, this student is Hispanic or Chinese, but Chinese, they may not, a lot of people wouldn't even know that those are Chinese names because they could think they're Korean or who knows, any number of things, but okay, a Shanice, Deshaun, etc. All right, go to the next slide. The parents signed the letters, and the parents were Jake, Tyrone, Fong, or Jose. Dude, you got it, right? You know which one Tyrone is, right? And we know Fong, bro, you got Fong. You know Fong's the Hispanic parent, right? Yeah. Yeah. All right, got it. No, Fong's not the Hispanic parent. Okay, so now, cool? Does it make sense? You're all following along here, all right? And this is brilliant, by the way. So, we're going to assess. Go to the next slide. Are Are principals more or less likely to respond to families of different racial and ethnic ancestries? So let's start. Justin, what do you think? What's your gut feeling? Do you think what when you think about these letters going out, like, do you think they're going to respond differently? What do you think?
I mean, it really depends on the circumstances. I feel like, I mean, the naive answer would probably be like the principal would likely respond equally to every parent. That's like the ideal situation, but I mean, there might be some bias. I'm not particularly sure.
Yeah, you don't know if there would be bias. Summer, how about you? When you think about this study, what do you imagine?
So, like, as again, how you said, it'd be great if I think it would depend on like school district, like, you know, what majority some students are there, but I do think it would places and yeah.
You think it would vary?
Yeah.
But the ideal would be that everybody's gonna get a response. Jasmine, when you see this and you think about the four different families, four different students from different ancestries and backgrounds, what are you imagining is very likely to happen?
I think that there might be different response, kind of similar to what Summer said, based off of like school district, neighborhood. I feel like the good answer would be that they would respond the same to everyone, but I'm not so sure that that's what would happen.
Who do you think's more? Who's more likely to get responses? What's your gut?
Maybe I want to say maybe the people that are more wealthy or fortunate or even more.
Well, we don't know that. You only know white, Chinese, Asian Chinese, right? Black, or Hispanic. Wait, can you go back a slide? Jake, Tyrone, Fong, Jose. All right, go back one more. That's all you know. Ying, Wei, Isabella, Diego, Shanice, Deshawn, Connor, and Molly. Okay, so go ahead two. So who do you think's going to be more likely to get the responses? Wait, are you thinking? Okay, this is a class. Think about the conversations we're having. This is a class on race, ethnicity, culture, okay? Think about all the conversations that we have in the United States about discrimination, fair, unfair treatment. Is it happening? Is it not happening? You know, a lot of people think it is. Other people say it's not. What are you thinking? This is laid out here. Everything is, you can say, well, it depends on a million things, but listen, who's more likely to get responded to is the question. Who do you think's more likely to get a response? Tyrone or Jake?
Jake, possibly.
Why? Why do you say that?
I don't know, maybe because they're white.
Because they're white. All right. Uh-huh. Wait, what's your ancestry? What's your background?
Well, I'm Hispanic. I'm Puerto Rican, Peruvian, and Mexican.
Puerto Rican, Peruvian, and Mexican. Uh-huh. Okay. And Justin, how about you? You're Korean, right? Korean American?
Yep.
Born here? Okay. So you're not Chinese, but you're all right.
Close enough.
It's close enough, dude. It's the same. It's all the same, right? All right. Zanel, how about you? When you think of this study, what are you thinking? What are you imagining? No, hang on. I have a question. What have you been told is going to happen? What have you learned growing up is probably going to be the outcome here?
Maybe the Black and Hispanic parents are going to not get answers to their emails.
Who's the one group that's most likely to not get answers?
Black.
Mm-hmm. So you've been taught that? I mean, most of us have been taught that, I think, right? But have you been taught that? I mean, you've been told that? Like, yeah. It's like, I guess. Uh-huh. What do you mean you guess? I mean, I was told that. I mean, I'm just curiosity, right?
Yeah, I would say the Black family would be least likely.
Uh-huh. It's so interesting, right? What's really interesting for you all right now is the two of you are kind of reluctant to even say that. That's just kind of common that you would be reluctant to say it. Why are you reluctant to say it?
Oh no, I feel like this is a hard question to answer.
How so?
Because, like you said, maybe you'd have to see discrimination for it to be called that. Because maybe like people just don't respond to their emails. Like,
no, hang on though. But I want to be really clear here. Everyone, 52,000 emails, messages go out. Okay, 52,000. It's the same exact message. 52,000 of the same exact message. Each principal gets one message, and if they respond or don't respond, that's fine. There's 52,000 different principals who are getting this message, okay? This letter. And a quarter of them, the letter is signaling, hey, my child's black. So, I'm black, my child's black. A quarter of them is signaling, my child's Chinese or Asian. It's like, and I'm Chinese or Asian. Like, it's just very clear. So it's not about, there's nothing else. It's like, if you respond or don't respond, one person or another person, it's like, yeah, I don't know. Like, I'm the principal, and I get the one from Tyrone with my son, what was the black kid's name? Deshaun. I'm Tyrone, and my son Deshaun, I happen to get that one from that letter that's signaling that the child's black, and I don't respond because I don't know, it goes to I just forget to respond. I don't know, I forget, it has nothing to do with the fact that they're black or white or anything. I just don't respond. And then another principal over here gets the letter from the Chinese family, and they don't respond. And it might have nothing to do with the fact that the child's Chinese. It's just like, whatever, they just didn't respond. Okay? We cool? So it's like, yeah, whatever. But when it's 52,000 times, that's a lot of time to see patterns of responses. If it's just 50 times, you don't know. But when it's 52,000 principals are getting these correspondences, there's a lot of time to see a pattern. So that's what we're talking about, the pattern. Who do you imagine is the most likely to get a response?
Professor, could I just ask a question? With regards to the actual emails sent to all the professors,
The principals.
The only differing factor was the name of the child and the name of the parent.
The name of the child and the parent.
How were the principals chosen? So were they sorted?
Just chosen. They sent it to every single principal whose name they could possibly find on a database in 33 states in the United States. School districts put the contact information of principals in their schools online. So these researchers were able to go into 33 states, and they were able to find the databases and pick out the principals. And they were that's it. So there's 17 states that didn't get any of these letters, but that's how it was picked out. And they picked every single principal that they could possibly find.
So we don't know if there's a correlation between the responses of the principals versus the kind of neighborhoods the schools were in. For example, if there was a principal...
It's all schools. It's rich schools, middle layer schools, poor schools, urban schools, rural schools, suburban schools. 52,000 principals. There's not like most of the schools were urban. Most of the schools were rural. It's not that at all. It's such a huge number that it is a random sample of principals across the board. Okay? So there's nothing we can't say, well, there's more of a response to this parent because most of the schools were Hispanic or something. No, it's nothing. It has nothing to do with that. It's a random sample in a huge group of schools. Is that cool?
Kind of, but with regards to this collection of the data,
Yeah.
obviously with the larger the data set goes, the more accurate the general gist and the general trend tends to be with regards to the responses. But when it comes to the sample, since it's emailed, it's an optional sample, so isn't that a random sample? So wouldn't that be less accurate?
No, it's a sample, dude. It doesn't matter. It's like, what do you mean less accurate? You mean that white people are more likely to respond to emails more than Asian people? No. Principals? No. It just is. It's going out across the board. So there's no one place where it's going to fall apart. Don't break it down like that. You're like, this is what happens. We try to break shit down so much that we lose the point where we lose what it's all about. Don't break it down like that, okay? Because you're gonna lose yourself. Bro, who do you think?
Before I answer that question,
Yeah.
could I ask for when this study was conducted?
Like 2 years ago.
Like 2 years ago. Okay. If that's the case, then honestly, I'm thinking that white might be the least likely to respond, considering that.
Wait, the people might be less likely to respond
yes.
to white people?
Compared to the others,
Yeah,
yes.
why is that?
Because I think there's been like a recent focus on like diversity, right?
Okay.
And I just feel like it might be in like the minds of like the principals, especially the principals, because
Oh, okay. So they see the name Fong, and they're like, oh man, okay, I gotta make sure I respond to that. Or they get this message about this child who they imagine is black, and they're like, oh, I gotta respond to the black child.
I mean, kind of, not really.
Okay,
like
no, that's okay. Go ahead. You think that
it's similar to that, but like at the same time, I just feel like diversity is such a big issue in like elementary schools or like schools from K to 12 that like it might play a major factor in. Like,
Yeah, so you think that principals would be, these days, would be super hypersensitive to being discriminatory, that they might actually be, it's the moment. Hey, by the way, yo, dude, not only are you on your phone, bro, but you have headphones on, all right? Like, dude. Okay, are we there? I want to see everyone's eyes right here. No, put your phones down. Put your phones down. I want to see your eyes right here, okay? Let me know if you don't see eyes, okay? Got it? And your computer's open. Like a parent. I'm like a grandparent. I'm a grandparent. Okay. I'm that old, dude. I'm a grandparent. God. All right. So you think that sensitivity might actually lead principals to, okay? Does anyone else? Summer, what do you think about that? I think that's a...
Yeah, I think that's a really, like, that crossed my mind as well. Not being, I feel like white people can be really scared of us as, like, any form of racist, that they, like, not overcompensate, like, something that is, and, like, so I think that is, that could be a...
Okay, what about the
factor.
principals who are not white? Do you think they feel the same way? Are they on their best behavior around people who are not white because they don't want to get called out as racist?
No, I think they're probably fine.
How do you feel as a white person that, like, how do you hold that in your mind that white people might be, like, you're holding this as an hypothesis, white people might actually be less responsive to other white people than they would be to people of color? As a white person, like, this could be you with your child, sending it in, going like, oh, you know.
I would just email them again. I mean,
You would email them again?
yeah, just, you know.
Uh-huh. All right. Huh. Are we good? We're going to keep going? All right, go to the next slide. Okay, so not responding, in this case, not responding can mean a lot of things. It could mean that yeah, this principal didn't respond because they suddenly got sick. They had knee surgery, and they didn't respond to emails for 2 months. It could mean any number of things. Their computer crashed, they lost all their emails, 1,001 things. But when it's 52,000, bro, 52,000 people, the individual excuses don't matter anymore, okay? So the idea, for the researcher's perspective, they're saying not responding means disregarding. And disregarding is a way of discriminating. Disregarding, listen, on the stream, I got to say this. Disregarding does not equal discrimination, okay? But how else are you going to measure? How are we going to measure this? If there's differences in response rates, like, it means something. It means it's not going to be, it could be, if it's a really tiny difference, it might just be chance. But if there's a difference that we see, then we got to at some level be thinking, oh, there's something behind this. It may not be intentional. It could be unintentional, but there's something there. So no. You get that, right? Disregarding, discriminatory.
Yes.
Does that make sense to you? Like, this would be a way you could measure discrimination?
Yeah.
Like, if you had a child, if everyone who looked like you, if you had you and 10 of your friends, you're all mothers, 10 other mothers and fathers, parents, and you find out, like, each one of you, the principal didn't respond, or responded to only 2 of us, but Summer over here, you find out that there are 10 Summers in this parent group, and they all got a response from the principal.
Is it the same principal?
So, yeah, they're just, let's say well, first off, let's say it's the same principal.
And I feel like that would be discriminating.
Okay, so let's say it's 20 different principals. Like, whoa, you guys all got responded to, and we didn't get responded to. 20 different principals. Would you just chalk that up to chance, or would you go like, wait, hang on a second, man?
I'd email again and see if they respond.
Okay, you'd email again, but before you emailed again, would you say to yourself, wait, what's going on here?
Well, I mean, teachers in general, they take a long time to respond to emails.
Dude,
sometimes they do ignore
Why
you.
didn't they didn't, damn, I'm gonna start swearing here. They didn't take a long time for her. Like, what are you talking about? Like, holy shit. Do you see what it is? Like, so you think, people on the stream, right? You think students today, all they think about is discrimination and oh my God, all these 4 people are doing are trying to convince me that discrimination doesn't exist. Like, dude, they responded to Summer, they didn't respond to your kids and people that look like you. So it's like, well, teachers, like, okay, what do you think about that?
I'd say it's discriminating.
You'd say there's something going on?
Yes.
I mean, I got Jasmine.
I would say like
Hang on. All the Hispanic families, you're all getting together because you got like enchilada night, like all the Mexican American families, all right? You're getting together, you got enchilada night, and you're talking to each other, and you're going like, hey, man, like, check this out. We sent these emails out to these 20 schools, and only 2 of us got a response, and Summer's there, and she's like, I'm part of this parent group, 10 of us, and we sent emails out, and everybody responded. What would you say?
Well, I would feel that's discriminatory, but also I would want to see like the other schools. Like if it's even, if I see like Asian families were responding more at this school and Black families were responding more at this school, I could see that they just went through emails, like whatever way they came through. But if it's clear that across all the schools, it's just answered more white people over anything else, then yeah, it's clearly discriminatory. And I think
there's something going on.
Yeah, there's something going on.
Hey, wait. Hang on a second. Jamie, you have to say that again. All right. Hang on. The stream lags. I can't. I got to wait for Jamie to hear what I just said so that she can say something in my ear. All right. Hold on. Damn it. She's not. Hey, Jamie, you got to tell me. Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, I think I'm reasonably certain it's emails, it's not letters. It doesn't matter one way or the other. It's the same thing, you know what I mean? Because you can't say, well, the emails from black families or Hispanic families or white families are more likely to go to spam than, it's the same thing. It doesn't matter whether it's emails or mail or letters, but I think it is. It doesn't matter which one it is, but I think it's emails. I'm reasonably certain. Okay, so are we good here? You got it? And I'm not making the argument that discrimination is happening. I'm just not letting you all get off the hook here. Like, I need you to understand. We're talking 11, or 16, what is it? 52,000? So that's like 14, whatever, what was it? 13,000, right? Yeah, like 13,000 emails. It's like, okay. All right, so let's go. Disregarding, discriminating. All right, next slide. Which of the families received the most and the fewest responses? Okay? So what do you think it is? Who received the most?
I think white and Asian.
White and Asian
Chinese.
got the most. White and Chinese. Who got the least? Black and Hispanic? Jasmine?
I agree as well.
Same thing? Yeah. Summer?
The same exact
Feel
thing.
free to disagree, by the way.
That's it. That's what I was thinking.
Hang on. Okay. Justin? Feel free to disagree, my friend.
I mean, I'm going to go with my gut here. I'm going to say that black and Hispanic got the most responses and white and Chinese got the least based off what I
because
said
of what you
before.
said earlier. You're thinking that people are going to be most tuned in to, black and Hispanic families and
That's it. At least that's what I hope.
I don't want to be seen as racist. Wait, you hope that? You hope that people are conscious about that, you mean? Yeah. Okay. Bro, who do you think got the most responses?
You say black and Hispanic.
Black and Hispanic got the most responses? Yeah? Who do you think? Black and Hispanic got the most responses back from principals? Yeah? For the same reason of what he said? Who do you think it is? Who do you think got the most responses?
I would say either white or Chinese.
White and Chinese got the most responses? Bro, who do you think? Who do you think got the most? Just pick one group out.
If I had to pick one, probably white, but they also might be all equal, relatively.
Okay. I mean, we learned that it's white, right? We learned that the correct answer here is white people got the most responses. I mean, that's it. That's what we've been talking about for 40 years, is racism and discrimination. So racism is against black people primarily. Secondarily, it's against Hispanic people. And then after that, it's just a toss-up, okay? All right. So let's go to the... By the way, I just want to emphasize, especially to the stream, to you all, the idea is that you all have been spoon-fed a diet, a toxic diet, according to some people, of seeing racism, and especially seeing that racism benefits white people. First off, white people are racist, and racism benefits white people. But what I heard from you is you're all really reluctant to say that. I had to keep pushing you to not to actually go there, because you're just not going there right away. And I think that that's really fascinating, because people think that that's the very first thing that you all are going to do. So can you respond to that? Do you have that sense that people are expecting you to be like, oh yeah, there's racism everywhere? And
Yeah, I feel like some people feel that way, but I feel like to say something is discriminatory, you have to be completely sure of it, because it's a crazy accusation.
And would you say that that's common among your friends? Did you learn that in your family? Yeah, be careful about just throwing that word discrimination around, because yeah. Did you learn that?
To be careful with throwing that word around?
Yeah, just claiming that something's discrimination, when it's wait, you can't necessarily say that.
I mean, I haven't learned it, but I feel like it's just common sense.
It's common sense.
Yeah, to think before you claim something.
Oh, God. Dude.
Professor,
Dude, by the way, I'm like, that's amazing, right? Look, the reason, this is why this is why I want people to tune in here, because the kinds of things that you all say are not the kinds of things that people expect you to say. Nobody expects you to say that, okay? They might hope that you say that, think you're going to say that. Do you agree with her? Basically, like you were doing the same thing. You're trying to show all these ways in which we're not going to arrive at discrimination.
I mean, yeah, I guess I kind of agree with her. I mean, I definitely do believe that there is discrimination out there. I'm not going to wave that away or deny that, but I feel like with certain research things like this, it could go in a sense either way.
Could go either way.
Yeah, I don't know.
Whoa. Okay. Awesome, man. I mean, awesome. Yeah, you don't know. Okay, this is cool. This is why I teach this class. Bro.
I was just going to say, I think that the fact that the volunteers are over here in front of this entire room of a lot of people, they might want to be, and the fact that it's a live stream, they might want to be as
careful as possible.
Exactly, as possible.
Which is how you should be. And that's how you should be. If you were sitting up here or in your seat or watching, whatever, you should be careful as possible. And this is what I'm always saying. When I hand the microphone to students up here, you all start thinking, and you think carefully, and you're cautious, and you do what should happen. And that's what makes this so much fun for me, because I get to see the best and the smartest of students. You know, this is awesome. You're not a bunch of activists. Students are in college. By the way, can I speak into the stream? Dude. Whatever. Doesn't matter. Students are in college to learn, is what I keep hearing, to be smarter and think better. All right, let's go to the next slide. All right, Chinese American families received the fewest responses from school principals. Hands down. Hands down. All right, what do you think about that? Justin, what do you think about that? It wasn't even close, by the way.
Yeah. I don't know. I'll just be real. I have no clue why.
How's it feel as an Asian guy? I mean, you're Korean, but I mean, how's it feel? Like, you're Asian American, okay? And it comes to find out that a lot of people, do people just think you're Chinese? Well, things are a little different.
Most people think that I'm Korean.
Most people think you're Korean? Do people ever assume you're Chinese?
Not really.
No,
no.
when they know your name or when they look at you?
Regardless.
Yeah? All right. Okay, so listen. How is that? Have you been taught growing up that hey man, Asians are very likely to be discriminated against as much or more than anybody else in the U.S. Was that something you were taught?
I mean, not really. I mean, I don't know. To preface, I don't know how other Asian people were growing up, but at least for me, I was kind of taught to be a little more independent. So I think I kind of understand why Chinese American families receive the fewest responses from school principals, because it's not. I want to think that it's not common that those families reach out in the first place, because they usually have their own interconnected communities that they reach out to first before they go to that and stuff like that.
This is amazing. You're coming up with some reason why. Here, are you following this? Once again, he's coming up with some reason why this is not discrimination. So Chinese American families got considerably fewer responses from the principals, and you're coming up with you're in your mind coming up with some reason that makes sense that that's not really discrimination. It's just because
I mean, yeah. I don't want to go to that, right?
Dude, exactly. You don't want to go to discrimination.
Yeah, I mean, I obviously want to look for other reasons why, maybe the principals were just out of date or something like that.
Which might be true, but when it's 52,000 people,
you can't argue with statistics.
There are only so many knee surgeries that are happening among the principals. Hey, Summer, what do you think about the fact that it's was that even in your mind, that the possibility that, it might be Chinese American families?
Wasn't at first, but now I'm like thinking about, oh, that could make sense. I think if you think about it, if you look at like white and black, all like, if you're looking at language-wise, a lot of like we'll talk the same. Like we have, even Hispanic is pretty close to English and that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
But whereas like Asian language and stuff is a lot different.
Okay, but hang on. You're doing the same thing. Be careful. The letter is written, it's the exact same letter. It's written in English with no grammatical errors or anything.
Well,
So the person writing it speaks fluent English. They just happen to be, they're like Justin here. Do you speak Korean at all?
A little bit.
Okay, but it's just like Justin here who speaks English as well as you and I do.
well, where I was going with that is a lot of also like, I feel like Asian people and Asian culture can be like romanticized in a way. My sister is from
romanticized. Okay.
China, and she didn't grow up there at all, but people when she was little would always ask if she spoke Chinese, because I feel like they saw her as something like exotic or whatnot. So I think that feeds into what is like the discrimination, or even if it's not a conscious thing, like being like, oh, these people aren't my people.
An other. They're an
Yeah,
other
they're an-
somehow.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
so of the three groups, Chinese, white, Hispanic, black, Chinese are the most othered.
If you look at it, well, yeah, like if you look at it from that way,
All
yeah.
right, I got you. Okay, but othered, okay, is that cool? Does that make sense? That's a really cool point. But the problem is, othered, because Justin here, who speaks fluent English and writes fluent English, if he writes a letter and someone others him, that's discrimination, because he's no different than you or me, or you or the four of you. But they look at him, or they see him and they see his name and they don't respond. That would be discrimination.
My sister, she has a very American name, but her middle name relates back to what her name used to be in China, and she doesn't like to put it down or anything, because people are like, "Oh my God, what's this? Like, what does it mean?"
Yeah, because people make a big deal of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got you. Okay. Well, either way, that's discrimination. Okay. Jasmine, what do you think about the fact that it's Chinese? It's not Hispanics. It's not black.
Yeah, I was honestly, like, initially, I was wanting to change, like, after I said my order, I was kind of thinking a little bit, it could have been a little bit different. And now that I'm thinking about it, that kind of does make sense a little more, especially after what Summer said. And I honestly feel like if I had to reorder my thing, I would say it would be whites, Hispanics, blacks, and Asians, now that I think about it. Only because I feel like there are a lot of, like, bringing it to race, there are a lot of white Hispanics out there too, and I feel like if you're going to be discriminatory, you're going to like think them and then everyone else. So that's just the only thing that I was thinking.
Okay. All right. Zanelle, I have a question for you.
Yes.
As the black representative, I want you to represent black people across the United States. It's like Chinese people, like, suddenly they knock black people off the discrimination, at least in this study right here. Like, black people get knocked off and Chinese people get put on. And like, how is that surprise? Like, what do you think most black people would say about that? Would most black people say, I know you don't know what most black people think, but just have fun.
I'm surprised.
Most people would be surprised?
Is it going to be like the black parents were responded to the most? Like, is that why the title is Black to Asian?
No.
Oh, okay.
It's not going to be that. But it's surprising, right? It's like, all right. You don't think about Chinese. Like, we don't think about Asians and think discrimination.
No, like in my sociology class, we learned about the model minority myth. And like in the studies, like from texts I've read, it said that Asian parents, like principals and teachers, are more likely to respond to them than other races.
Yeah, I think back to like the Black Lives Matter protests. Yes, people were but especially black people, but people were marching in the street. People didn't stop and be like, whoa, hang on a second. we also got to bring Chinese into this as well, because they experience a lot of discrimination. Like, that's not happening. It just is. Like, Chinese, like, okay. All right, go to the next slide. Hispanic American families received the second fewest responses from school principals. Jasmine, the second fewest. First is Chinese, then it's Hispanics. So that would go along kind of with what you said. I mean, that's not surprising to you.
Yeah, now I'm starting to think too, this could be based off of just stereotyping by language, maybe, because they're probably, even though the letters were all in the same language, their probably immediate jump is to who can I converse with the most easily versus, something like that. And if you think like Hispanic speak Spanish or Chinese speak Mandarin, so it's not going to be, their assumption is I can't really converse with them as well.
Well, they might, but remember, what they know is the letter is written in perfect English. It's the same letter, whether it's from the white family or any of the other families. It's the same letter. So you might think, well, I don't know if there might be something in your mind, but then that would be just absolute stereotyping, race. I don't even know what I would call that. That would be just stupidity. You know what I mean? Like, sure. I don't know if I can relate to these Chinese people because I don't know if they'll speaking. You know what I mean? They're demonstrating that they're perfect. The Hispanic families as well, right? Bro. Yeah, it's an interesting thing, right?
I think it's kind of interesting because it almost seems to be following the demographics of the United States population, where we would naturally be more inclined to follow the populace of white people, which is the largest population, then black people, then Hispanic, then Asian. And I'd also be curious to see how it would change if we had two sources of, like, two different populations of each race. So like for the blacks, having a name having Deshaun, but then also having like a very African name like Oluwatomisin or something like that, and see how much that changes, because the Asian name also seemed to be very Asian, for a lack of better terms, compared to Deshaun, which is very Black American. And that also changes because obviously there's more Black Americans in the United States than African Americans. So it seems to be following the trends of the population, which kind of makes sense because if we look at the principals in the United States, they probably also follow a fairly similar demographic flow as well.
If I had to guess, I would say principals across the board represent the demographic of the U.S. So like 58% of them, more or less, are white, and so on and so forth. Yeah. All right, let's go to the next. Okay, I like what you're saying. Let's go to the next slide. Principals of different genders and race and ethnic backgrounds discriminated equally. Didn't matter. Black principals are just as likely to respond or not respond to one group. They responded to black. Let's say that Chinese people got the fewest responses. Didn't matter if the principals were Asian or white or black or Hispanic. They didn't respond in equal measure. Does that make sense? So it's not like the principals of Chinese or Korean or Japanese ancestry, let's say, were more likely to respond to the Chinese family, because that wasn't the case at all. Okay? All right. There's not much to say here, but it says that just because you put a principal in place who's black or brown, it doesn't mean that person's going to be less likely to discriminate. That's probably, does anyone have a comment on that? Like, this is, Justin, let me ask you. Is there, from what you know in the Korean community or Asian communities, are you connected to Chinese community, Asian communities at all, or just Korean community?
Mostly Korean.
All right. Is there any sense at all that But the Koreans are going to be less likely to discriminate because they're minority in the United States? Is that a conversation that you hear at all, or is that just like the discrimination's only coming from white people? It's not coming from black people, Hispanic people, Korean, Asian people?
Not really for the most part. I think it's pretty widespread.
Uh-huh.
Or level.
It's
That's
pretty
the word I
even.
wanna say.
People across the board are equally as likely to discriminate.
Yeah.
Summer, as a white person, do you? How often do you imagine that when you think about people of color discriminating, in your mind, do you think, well, but people of color, black people, Hispanic, Asian people, they discriminate pretty much as white people do? Is that a common thought in your mind?
I feel like I don't really think about this stuff a lot. I'm just every person's a person.
Can you imagine it though?
But also, I was thinking that because this was all done in the States, right?
What's that?
This was all like done in the States.
Yeah, States.
So I'm not totally sure if this goes in for like other countries, but in America, like the stereotypes and the culture that we have that like stereotype races, I feel like everybody learns, even if it's not a conscious thing. So even if like just like that's going to have an effect on everybody, even if it's not directed at everybody.
Yeah, everyone learns it.
Yeah.
Like there's an old Chris Rock. You know who Chris Rock is?
No.
The comedian Chris Rock?
I don't know.
Oh man, you really are white. All right. This is wait, am I allowed to say that? Wait, do you feel, is that offensive? Wait, am I allowed to say that?
No, I'm really white.
Okay,
I'm
that's
so
good.
incredibly
All right,
white.
well, look at your name. You're Summer, right? Like, come on. All right. So, Chris Rock is a black. Look, first off, he's old. He's almost as old as I am. So you wouldn't be expected to know who he is.
In my defense, I don't know like who anybody is
that's
ever.
Good. That's good. That's fine. It's like I don't know who the 20-year-old comedians are on TikTok. So you wouldn't know this guy. But all right. Anyway, he had this skit that he did. This little funny thing that he's like the most racist people in America are old black men. It was very funny. And okay, so hey, white people, can I talk to you for a second? Let's have a come to Jesus conversation for a moment. It's pretty common, like, you don't have to raise your hands or something, but I just need to have some, like, what I've seen in the past 30 or 40 years is that the narrative about discrimination is the emphasis is on the fact that white people discriminate and people of color are the victims of discrimination. And so, therefore, this information right here that, black, Hispanic, Asian, or Chinese, but in this case it's going to be Asian principals, would be less likely to discriminate because they're people of color and they're minorities and they understand the problems and the power of discrimination. So they don't discriminate. Discrimination is a white people problem. Is that just me? Is that like...
Can I say something now? I have the microphone.
Yeah, dude. Go ahead, man.
Okay. Something about this research caught me off guard when you showed it to me. Because I think for me, it's like, I've grown up in classrooms filled with teachers who's taught me different areas of research when we talk about discrimination, oppression, racism, all those things. But the idea of emails being responded hasn't been an approach I've seen before. So like, since we're on the topic of discrimination, I'm curious, because I think about like, how would this look if the responses we were talking about were having to do with like job applications? So if we had white people, Hispanic, black, all those races apply for jobs with the same resumes, same qualifications, how would that look? As opposed to, did my email get responded to?
Okay.
So I think that's just...
Let me answer that.
Yeah.
I'll answer it and you can respond to me. So the same people...
Yeah.
So the lead researcher on this used to be a colleague of mine in my department, okay? So we also did research on job applications and rental applications to rent an apartment. Okay? Same thing. Blind, just like this. Sending applications in with nothing more than the name of the person and using names like this. And rental applications for apartments, same thing, using names like this that are very clearly signaling. Okay? And what they find in the research is that wherever they look for discrimination, they find it. So these are called audit studies. And yeah, it exists. In job applications, same thing exists. In rental applications, same thing exists. But it's different, like which group experiences it the most. But anyway, go ahead. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. You distracted me. Sorry. I have ADHD, so I get distracted easily.
Okay,
sorry.
all right, that's good.
So you said it is different from because that's what I was saying. Like, I felt like it was different within job. So yeah, I was just saying, like, I think that was like also relevant to mention, like how there's a difference when the outcomes are there's like a black individual who's applying for a job application and has this thing called exactly.
Yeah,
So I was just gonna say that.
Yeah, okay, yeah. So that's why the reason I chose this study and I didn't choose one of the other ones, it's just because I think this is more interesting to look at. And this is potentially big because when the four of you have, let's assume the four of you want to have children, and you do have children, your school, access to resources in the school and what's good for your child is going to be very dependent on your ability to reach that principal and get information to that principal that says, hey, I need to talk to you about my child. And if you can't do that or the principal doesn't respond, that's potentially very problematic for the future of your child's ability to thrive in the school. You see, right? That's why this research is actually really important. This isn't just some silly thing. So, you know what I mean? It's not like this is less important than a job application. This is actually really important and valuable and important for the future of kids. It's like Korean parents, dude. You know what I mean? you know, Korean parents are all about making sure that the kids are getting everything they need. All right, go to the next one. All right, black families only face some discrimination. So for black families, it was the same as white families. So Summer, Zanelle, Summer, Zanelle, your people, whatever, are treated the same. So unless black families received some fewer responses than white families, but only in the school districts that had really high resource needs, meaning that the school districts were really poor. And then we saw a little bit of discrimination against black families, but otherwise not. Dude, hey, Summer, what do you think about the fact that black people, here we go, man. No, hang on. Zanelle, you're on the spot. So we've had this civil rights, talking about discrimination and racism and prejudice, and we've been working on eradicating all of that in the black community for decades and decades, okay? Well, according to this research, we've gotten somewhere. It's like, how is that? Like, you're like treated equal to white people. Like you win, man. Like you won. Black people, like you got it. Here you go. Dang.
I think that's good, but I feel like there shouldn't be discrimination at all. Like everyone should get their emails replied to.
It's still not acceptable because of the Chinese family, Hispanic families, and so on. But seriously, I'm having kind of fun here a little bit. But seriously, this is really big to say. This isn't to say racism against black people doesn't exist, because it absolutely does. And in fact, when we do the job studies, we always see discrimination against black people, man. We continue to. We just didn't see it here. So,
Can I say something about what you said before? You were talking about Black, Hispanic, and Asian people like discriminate because people only think that white people discriminate. I mean, I see like minorities discriminate all the time. Like my parents, like they're from the Caribbean, but like they're Black, but they still like say bad things about like African Americans, or like I have like Hispanic friends it's mostly like the older generations, like their parents will say stuff about
Don't
other.
throw your parents under the bus. But it's not just your parents. Listen, no, it just is. The older generations, yeah, everybody has that in them. Yeah. We already threw them under the bus, so that's all right. Doesn't matter. All old people discriminate, except me, by the way. No, but this is it. You have to be on the inside. And then problem is, hey, white people, by the way, that's not an excuse for you to just go discriminate. You have to have prejudiced thoughts and so on. Like that. Well, they do it, so it's like dropping the N-bomb. Well, why can't I use the N-word when they're using the N-word? It's like, well, you can use it. Go ahead and use it. Whatever. All right, so here we go. Go to the next slide. White parents receive 22% more responses than Chinese families and 6% more than Hispanic families. 22%'s a pretty significant amount. You know, that's pretty significant. For math majors in here. Bro, you're Korean. Are you good at math? Yeah. What's 22% of 11? What was it, 13,000? What's about 22% of 13,000? What's that?
2,000-ish?
Yeah, about 2,000.
A little more than.
A little more than 2,000, yeah. Yeah. Summer and I knew that. You knew that, right, Summer? 2,600.
Would have been 20%,
Dude,
not 22%.
2,600.
But I'm a data science major and I really like math.
All right, listen, man. That's a lot. That's actually a pretty significant amount. Okay. So, all right. Go to the next slide. And so this is what this was. I wanted to put this up there, but we already responded to that. Okay. So, hang on one second before we go one more. I want to make sure we're good. Okay, leave that up. Hey, does anybody have a response? Anybody have? Do one of you have something you want to say to this? Like, how is this to go through this?
Who were the top two like races that got their emails responded to? Like it
got
was
the most responses?
Yeah.
Yeah, white and black. White and black got the same. Yeah, go back to that. Yeah, white and black got the same. Yeah.
I'd be curious to see like how she was saying with like Black American versus African American names, because I feel like both the white and the black used in the study were very Americanized types of names. If you use something that was more African American, yeah, then I think we would
like
see
a
more of a
Nigerian
different
name or or Kenyan name or something like that. Yeah, if I had to guess, I would. Yeah, I don't know. That's a really interesting question. If I had to guess, I would say probably would be a little more. Yeah. Yeah. Somebody else, bro. Yeah, bro.
Do you think at the beginning of class you were kind of like pushing them to like say more about discrimination? Do you think like maybe people watching on the stream thought that percent would have been higher? Like they expected more discrimination? Because my original thought was there was going to be discrimination. It just wasn't going to be as big as we thought it was.
It wasn't going to be as much, yeah. Well, you could argue that 22% is not that. I don't know, is that a lot? What do you think? Is that a lot or is it not a lot?
I think people would expect it to be more.
Yeah,
but
it
isn't. Like, I think people would have been like 36%
or
like 40.
50,
yeah, or like
whatever.
50.
Yeah.
But it's not.
Dude, that's a good point. Did you all expect it to be higher? Would you expect it to be higher? Yeah. That's the other side, is that, I don't know. Well, first off, 22%, when we're talking about like 2,500 people or so, that's actually, 2,500, dude, that's a lot of people. It's a lot of families not getting, not getting, a lot of Chinese families not, dude, I'm pointing to you, you're Korean. I know you're Korean, you're not Chinese, but you're Chinese for the moment. Chinese families getting more responses, or getting less responses. 2,500, man, that's actually a lot. That's a lot of Chinese. It's not as many as, okay, yes, sir. But anyway, but you could go one way there. Yeah, it's a lot, it's not a lot, okay.
Yo, I'm Gianna. I've been thinking about this for a few days now. I've just been thinking about how, like, any given group of people will either discriminate or be discriminated against at any point in time for any given reason. Mm-hmm. And it just, like, really has shown throughout history. Like, it does not matter if you've been discriminated in the past or will be discriminated in the future, you will discriminate. And
something's going to happen. Yeah.
Something's going to happen.
And you're going to find a reason to not like somebody or
generalize. And, like, really, like, it just kind of shows, like, no one is special. Like, this study could be done in a different part of the world and it could be, like, entirely different.
Totally.
Like, groups of people, like, everyone's just everyone's mean.
Well, hang on though. Mostly we're not mean.
Yeah.
We're mostly not. And here's what this points out. What this research points out, it's not the overt stuff. It's the stuff that's in our minds. And when we're looking at 52,000 people and there are these differences in the way they respond to these families, it's non-conscious, and that means that some people are, like when Zanelle applies for an apartment in State College, and 10 people like Zanelle apply for an apartment who are Black, Afro-Caribbean, African, and they get less responses. It's a problem, man.
Yeah, I did want to kind of bring that up too. It's not like discrimination isn't like a big punch. It's kind of like death by 1,000 cuts.
Yeah, dude, I like that. Death by 1,000 cuts. Yeah. Somebody else. Who's got a? Yeah. Can you up there? Anybody else? While we wait. Here, can I borrow that? Wait, hang on one second, bro. Go ahead.
Nah, I just wanted to say that you said that this study was conducted like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Is that right? I was going to say that Chinese families might got a lower number based off of, I know it's not as recent, but the pandemic just happened, so that might be a discriminatory action.
Could be. Yeah, could be.
That was just a thought that ran into my mind because you also got to think of the years that certain things happen. Like if this study was conducted like in the 60s when the Board of Education thing was going on, we would have said Black families, but with everything going on right now, it could make sense with that.
It could be one of the factors behind it, but what I would say to that is that it still is a problem, regardless of what it is. And the letter, remember, the letter is still written in perfect English, but it could be leftover annoyance at the Chinese or something. It's
I was going to say that, like, with I know for a fact that when some people look at kids' names, like when roll call, they probably don't want to like announce their names or like always mispronounce names, for example. Like always mispronounce names, for example. So, like as soon as I saw the names that you present, I'm like, that can be a factor as well. They might see the name that might just like deter them away from that.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
I think another interesting aspect of this is that just the fact that this is like schools have more kind of like governmental interaction, and we can say like since the civil rights movement there has been more of a push through general government programs, particularly when it comes to African Americans, right? So I think you could kind of look at it like there has been progress in that area, but when you compare that to things like, when you were talking about like, job applications, all those types of stuff, right? Those are somewhat like more outside of the control of the government, right? Like the government cannot mandate directly these companies, right? So then we kind of see like, whereas government programs have been really trying over the past, like 50 years or so to decrease discrimination against African Americans within schools, right? And this might be like kind of showing that, hey, we've made progress in that area.
So that it worked.
Yeah, exactly. But the thing is that there's also like discrimination is bad no matter who it's up against, right?
I got you.
So because like there hasn't been as much of a focus for other groups, right? we're kind of seeing those same results. But then when it comes to like rent and
Yeah, hang on. We got to stop. You made a really good point. In a way, in a certain sense, all the DEI programs that everybody is critiquing, maybe they worked. And it's like, okay, that was a good thing. They worked. It's good. It all happened. Hey, by the way, you all were great. And when I was pushing you in the beginning of class, it's not because I wanted you to see discrimination. I just didn't want you to. I knew what you're doing is what your generation does, which is like we don't want to see discrimination everywhere we turn. And so that's a cool thing. Can we have a round of applause? Yeah.